Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So you probably see the same getup. I'm sitting here at my desk, yes, in my robe because my house is at 68 degrees and we don't want no high heating bill. So if you're new, welcome. My name is Shalise. I am an investor. I'm documenting my journey here on YouTube and I hope that I inspire you to start, okay? I'm not a financial advisor. I am not a fiduciary. I am an investor in the trenches. Real money here, okay? A real journey. We're trying to get to financial freedom and we want other people to do it too. And if you are a returning subscriber, you already know, thank you so much. And what do I always say? Beware of scammers and fake pages. I am not on TikTok. I am not even on Facebook. I have one Facebook page that literally says beware of fake pages. If you see anything else, please report. So I wanted to share with you guys 3 stocks that we sold. So I've been talking about rebalancing your portfolio. Everybody should be rebalancing their portfolio. You need to go back in it. You need to look to see, are you lopsided? Maybe you're heavily weighted in one area. Maybe you have a stock or a fund that you're not doing so well in. And you're like, you know what? I changed my mind. I want to get out of this. I want to put my money somewhere else. Maybe you got into something risky, right? You saw a video, you saw a post, and you jumped in and you're like, you know what? I'm tired of this. I'm going to take my loss. I'm going to learn and move on. A lot of people use the end of the year for these types of updates to their accounts, and we are no different. My husband and I are long-term investors, but please don't get it wrong. We will sell if a company or a fund, transitions from what we originally wanted it to do, if they're not performing the way that we wanted, if management changes and we don't like it, if we're not happy with earnings, because this is a business. When you are investing, the management does not personally know you, right? And they are investing, or they are really running the business in the way that they believe is going to help grow it. They don't consult us. So as investors, we need to look at it kind of the same way, like this is a business. If the business does not grow the way that we want, even after a few years, we can sell our positions. You don't need permission from anyone else to sell your positions, because I certainly don't ask permission to anybody to sell anything because this is our money. But there are times when we sell. There are going to be times if you are a beginner and you start dabbling into different stocks and stuff, there are going to be times when you decide, you know what, I either want to sell or maybe I don't want to sell. Maybe I just want to pause and not buy anymore. Whatever you decide to do is perfectly okay because it's your strategy, all right? So I wanted to share with you 3 stocks we sold and let's get started. So the first one we sold was Energy Transfer. Now this one hurt. This one hurt, and the main reason, because I really enjoyed the position and the company and everything. But the main reason we sold was because of that dreaded K1 tax form. So if you're in ET or in EPD, I think that's what it is, Enterprise, something, you know what I'm talking about. These companies issue K1 tax forms, which in the past, we've owned ET for several years, so it's not like we were new to this. But the issue that I had was that the tax form will come late, number one. We try to file our taxes around the end of March. Sometimes these tax forms will come in April. Okay. We were starting to get an amended tax form. So that's when a company or even an investment firm will send you, maybe they made a mistake on the original form they sent you and they send you an updated version of it and you got to report that on your taxes. Well, the last one we got was at the end of May of this year. And I was so frustrated because I'm like, come on, you guys. To me, filing amended tax returns, I don't like at all. We spend a lot of money getting our taxes done. It takes 8 hours to do our taxes, right? And so we try to wait as long as we can to do them. We are not do our taxes at the end of January, do our taxes. We try to wait end of March, beginning of April till all the tax forms come in. And I have a checklist, a spreadsheet that tells me this. But after the form came late and at the end of May, when I thought this was way behind us, an updated tax form came we made a mistake. And then I don't know why, but they spelled my husband's name wrong. So it's okay, you got to reach out. You got to help them to, you made a mistake. You got to fix this. And then I got to give this to my tax professional so that they can update our taxes because we already filed them. So I was just you know what? Sometimes, this is an example of sometimes it's not even the company. Maybe it's just the tax structure behind it. That you just our tax situation is already there's a lot of strings. And I just don't want to overcomplicate it any further. I know several of you were telling me That's the main reason why you don't even like companies like ET or EPD, is because of that K1 tax form. A lot of people hate it. They hate it, but it is what it is. I found an article on NerdWallet. Part of the screen is cut off, but I'll leave the link below, talking about what is a K1 form. Let's see if I can move it. Yeah, what is a Schedule K1? And certain companies have to issue these to report annual income, losses, credits, deductions, or distributions that they made to partners, shareholders, etc. But like, this is in addition to what you may get from like a 1099. Usually you would get 1099s from Robinhood, Fidelity, Vanguard, etc. A bank. But no, the banks are 1098, I believe, right? 1098. But anyway, this is an additional tax form we have to wait on. But I just don't like the fact that it comes a little bit later. And then like this year, it was an amended version sent out. So we have to go in and amend our taxes or update our taxes. And I just got tired of it. You just don't understand. I got tired of it. It's not something I really want to deal with anymore. So now that this is out of our portfolio, I think we feel, more comfortable with our positions now. And that's pretty much it. That's why. That's why. Aflac. Now, I loved Aflac. Y'all know I had Aflac for like a good 5-6 years. One reason why we got rid of it was because our position was up 60%. My husband, who you don't see him a lot, but he has just as much say-so in these portfolios, okay? So I could say all day long, hey, I would love to buy 100 shares of Coca-Cola. If he's not in agreement with it, is not the goal. We come and we meet together in the middle. And he believed that we were up a lot, and he really wanted to get rid of Aflac last year. And again, there's nothing wrong with Aflac, but in terms of fitting our investment strategy, we really didn't need it. And he really didn't want to be in an individual insurance company anymore. And so he's, he was like, what, we're up. Let's just go ahead and take this profit. And, we have a tax professional that can deal with our taxes when it comes to taking profit. But with all the updates, we put an HVAC and a rental property and a couple of other things. When it's all said and done, we'll be fine. But, we ran this past our tax professional and they were on board as well. Like really looking at, are you up a whole lot? Now, I don't really like to sell things that we're up in. I know some of you will say, Shalise, why don't you just take the profit? Just keep, or take what you put in and just keep the profit in, just house money. But traditionally, I just let it ride, like with NVIDIA, Realty Income, like all of the usual companies. I just kind of let it go. Main Street, DGRO, I just let it stay. But my husband was ready to sell Aflac, and I agreed with him. And let's just put that money into building more SCHG and Visa and Costco and things like that. And that's what we're going to do. And that's what you've been hearing me talk about. Really focusing on building up positions that will be a benefit to our portfolio. And then last, but certainly not least, is Applied Digital. Now, I started buying this earlier this year. I know several of you probably own this, as well as Palantir. And I didn't even really think about it until it was brought to my attention that Applied Digital does not pay a dividend. And I had that company sitting right in Robinhood. And if you don't know, that Robinhood portfolio, every single stock, every single fund pays a dividend. It's a dividend growth, dividend income portfolio. And my rule was I didn't want any stock or any fund in that portfolio that did not pay a dividend. I don't care if it was a penny. Now, NVIDIA, we had that small position in NVIDIA in Robinhood. It pays a dividend. So it's like a penny a share or something like that, but it's a dividend. Applied Digital does not pay a dividend. So we want to stick to our strategy. It's important for us to do this. And I really appreciated my husband pointing this out again. And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking the word for 2020. Well, I don't know. I posted a video about my word of the year I'm trying to choose between align and elevate. I'm not sure, but I love, it is what it is. And I'm thinking of starting, I'm not going to probably share this on the channel. I don't know yet. I'm thinking about it, but a separate portfolio where if there are emerging companies, if I'm doing research on AI and I find an AI company, I don't want that mixed with Robinhood. I don't want that mixed with Fidelity. I don't want it mixed with Vanguard. I don't want it mixed with Interactive Brokers. I want it off to the side where I can put a couple of dollars in while I'm researching emerging companies, more AI type of companies, database companies, where I can put money in it and it's not conflicted with our, core portfolio. Does that make sense? I think some of you had that. You have like a separate portfolio where you use to kind of put some extra money in some new companies or things like that. But the great thing is that we exited around $35, which was great. So we had a nice gain. The growth was great, but again, it didn't align with that Robinhood account, which was dividend. And I appreciate my husband again bringing that up. So those are 3 stocks we sold before the end of 2026. Nothing really wrong with the company, like the actual stock per se, in our opinion. It's just, it didn't really align anymore. And it was time to kind of move on. And so these are examples. Now you will notice these are all individual stocks. See, with funds, you really don't have to do it. Well, that even depends. I know some people don't like SCHD anymore. Some people love it. Some people don't like the QQQs. Some people love it. So it really just depends, like I said, on your specific strategy and your specific goal, because that varies from person to person, from investor to investor. But I think at the end of the day, we are doing what we're doing to our portfolios because we believe it'll help it grow. So let me know down below if you sold anything this year. Right? And you can tell me why if you want to, but let me know if you sold anything. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like, you share, and you subscribe. Tickle that notification bell so that you don't miss upload every time I post a video. And until next time, y'all already know, I'll see y'all in my next one. Bye-bye.